Alright, so this is video number 6, and in this video we are getting into market sophistication. Okay, and this is another important video, another fun video. So what market sophistication is, basically to do with the amount of times that your market has seen a specific claim. So your ICP has this specific desire that we've talked about before. How many times have they just been bombarded with the same messaging to try to reach that desire? This is a really important question because this is going to basically tell us how to position our ad to be able to get into their mind, because oftentimes it might be a bit difficult for them to believe in your offer if they've seen it so many times or if it doesn't stand out from everything else. So this video here is going to answer the question on exactly how do we attack our ICP to be open, believable, and new. So let's get into it. Stage number 1 for market sophistication is in a situation where you are the first to the market. So you're the first to make a claim to get to that specific desire of the market. So for example, if we go ahead and we say that the claim here is losing weight. If I simply just say lose weight, here is how to lose weight. That simple statement, the first time it was ever seen in the market, would have done really, really well on its own. And as you know today, that statement would not do very well at all. But again, back in the day when this was the first person to ever say that would have done very, very well. And a lot of people would have realized that company did very, very well with that statement as well. And so, you know, what's going to happen is we're going to get some more competition. Some more people are basically going to say that exact same statement. But what ends up happening when we have more competition that says the exact same statement? Well, the original business had 100% of the market, and now maybe they've come down to 1/4 of the market or 50% of the market or whatever it is. But what I do know is that some of these competitors, basically just stating the claim, there is no reason for individuals to go with business number 1 versus business number 2 or number 3. And so the market is really going to be split here and nobody is going to stand out. So the amount of business that this first business was actually getting is going to drop significantly. What this ends up doing in the market is it's going to bring up a need for an exaggerated statement. Something that's going to stick out from the crowd of all of the exact same statements. And so what ends up happening here is now we have a statement from a business that's basically saying lose weight in XYZ amount of time. Lose weight guaranteed. These are basically exaggerations to the original statement of losing weight. And what's going to end up happening here is this business right here is going to do decently well. They're going to stand out from the crowd, but people are going to realize to compete they are going to also need to exaggerate the original claim. So now we have a situation where there are a lot of businesses that are exaggerating the claim. And what happens when a lot of businesses are exaggerating the claim? To compete, every single business is going to need to exaggerate the claim even more and more, as long as more and more businesses get into the exaggerated claim stage 2 of market sophistication. And so this is the situation where we see a lot of offers that end up either looking unbelievable or people buy the offer and don't get any results because the exaggerated claim was just too far exaggerated. And so we're running into an issue now at stage 2 level of sophistication that people are just not really believing that the original vehicle here is actually going to go ahead and get them to the desired result. So what we need to do now in stage 3 is we need to introduce new hope. And to introduce new hope, we go ahead and we are going to introduce a new mechanism. So each of these businesses here are basically getting us to that mass market desire in a different way. And so what could this be? This could be a wonder drug to lose weight. This could be some sort of surgery, liposuction, something like that. These are new mechanisms to be able to lose weight. And because they're new, they seem to have another level of believability to them now. The same desire for this market is not going to go away. So people think, okay, like maybe these new things will actually work. And so what has just been done here again is we have just introduced a new mechanism, a new believable mechanism. And what's going to happen here is a lot of people are going to have a few other new mechanisms come up. Many people will have the same mechanism. Other people will have a different mechanism, but there will be a bunch of new mechanisms. And what can now happen is the people with the same mechanism are basically building out more competition, and people don't know what to select when all these businesses are using the same mechanism. So what ends up happening in stage 4 is we end up improving the mechanism to stay competitive. And so it might be a wonder drug that allows people to lose weight in a certain amount of time without side effects, whatever it might be. But basically, we're in a situation where all these companies are running all of these different mechanisms and they're exaggerating on the mechanisms again. And so stage 4 is actually pretty similar to stage 2. Now, once a lot of competition here has went ahead and enhanced on the mechanism, trying to stand out, we realize that the market for this mass desire is very, very big. It's continued to move through multiple stages of market sophistication. And the last possible stage that we're going to end up at is stage number 5. And what's going to happen here, we'll just use an example, is we are going to go ahead and focus on a specific identity. So if we look at when markets like Facebook ads were created, this created a lot of opportunity for business owners. And people that wanted to compete with the new opportunity of Facebook ads might have started Facebook ads agencies, right? So this is a specific subsect of something that came out of the new opportunity of Facebook ads. And if we wanted to go even more in detail with focusing on a specific identity, we could go into C here, and that's Facebook ads agencies specifically for coaches. Now, if I want to compete, and I'm a coach, I'm more likely to go with a Facebook ads agency that is focused on coaches rather than a Facebook ads agency that is focused on dropshipping, right? And so we can even niche down further than this. We can go to D, and this would be Facebook ads agencies for specifically fitness coaches. So we're going smaller and smaller and smaller. And you can only go ahead and get into stage 5, being specific on an identity, when the market is large enough for that sub-niche. Now, looking at all of these stages of market sophistication, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take the example that we had before of an automated remote cleaning business, and I'm going to take a look based on what I know from the ICP document, where exactly we would be in the stages of market sophistication. So what I do know from the research here is that there are other individuals that are going ahead and using the vehicle to achieve the mass market desire of escaping the 9-to-5 job of an automated remote cleaning business. So I know that we are definitely not sitting at first to market because, again, there is competition. When it comes to exaggerating the claim in stage 2, there is competition, but I do know that a lot of people do not know about the vehicle of remote cleaning. And so stage 2 here could be where we're at. If I look into introducing new mechanisms in the market, I have never seen anyone introducing a new mechanism for remote cleaning because people don't really know what remote cleaning is, and the vehicle is nuanced and new enough in itself. So introducing a new mechanism is going to be information that is not really needed at this point. And so we're not going to be looking into stage 3 level of market sophistication. So we're going to be sitting at a level of stage 2 market sophistication. What this means is, in order to stand out with our advertisements, is we need to be very specific and clear on the vehicle that we have, and we need to exaggerate the claim of this vehicle as well. Okay? So that is basically going to be the strategy for this example offer. And right now, if we look back, we are in a situation where we know that we are looking to target individuals looking to escape their 9-to-5, and we are sitting at solution aware. And now we know that we are at stage 2, market sophistication. These three things right here have made it very clear on exactly what I need to do when it comes to drafting up my ads. And this shows me that I need to be very clear with my vehicle. My vehicle needs to stand out. I don't really care too much about my mechanism. And when it comes to being specific on a more targeted ICP, I don't need to know that because I'm not near stage 5 market sophistication, but you can see how important stuff like this is. I've seen many offers that move straight into stage 5 market sophistication in the actual advertisements. They'll go straight into like a very specific subsect of people because they've heard that with ads, they need to be very specific with who they're targeting, but oftentimes the market is even big enough for them to get into that smaller subsect, and people don't even know that. And so I'm going to get into details with the vehicle that we're going to have within our offer and the mechanism. So I'll see you in the next video.